We're live yet again. Real Life Lounge.
Episode 32. It's been a minute since we were on. Today we wanted to hop on and share a day in the homeschool life.
I'm seeing all those posts of all the first day of school, kids on the front porch with the little chalkboard. And we kind of did one on our own too, because we started our year of homeschool. Although we do stuff over the summer, we kind of do have a kind of a traditional start of the school year. And we just started this week. So Today we're going to talk about what life looks like for us in our homeschool.
Yeah. So those of you that don't know, we have twins. They are 10. Technically, if they're in public school, they'd be in 5th grade. They're more like a 4th grade level. We consider
a lot of kids their age are 4th graders.
Yeah, because they have a summer birthday. So a typical week, we'll kind of talk about the week structure and then break it down into kind of a typical homeschool day and what curriculums we're using. So they are in a fabulous outdoor school program called Our Village School that started since the pandemic. And they go 2 days a week, Tuesday, Thursday. It's 5 hours each day. And that includes 4 classes on Tuesday, 4 on Thursday. So they're different classes, really awesome things like cooking and gardening and this Kids Inc. class, which Brian taught in the past about entrepreneurship and shop and science and art and music, really fun things, all taught by people from the community that are specialists and passionate about those topics.
Yep.
So that's Tuesday, Thursday. Also on Tuesday, Thursday, we do what's called our daily 3. We've talked about this a few times, but this is also what we do throughout the summer. So their daily 3 is math, which we use Beast Academy online. It's been our favorite curriculum so far. We love that math curriculum. When it's something they understand how to do, they can do it very independently. Sometimes we have to help them a little more, but great curriculum. And then they journal. They use the Real Life Learning Co's My Daily Journals. So they're always working on affirmations and gratitudes and paying attention to their bodies and their emotions. So that's part 2 of our daily 3. And then the third one is reading, minimum of reading for 10 minutes, because that's a skill that they're still working on building.
Yep. That journal is not only helps them work on their writing, but also is a big part of that growth mindset piece that is really important to us.
Yeah. And we try not to correct grammar and spelling in that journal, because we want it to be something that's fun and that they're doing more for their mindset rather than the particulars of the spelling and the writing and stuff.
Yeah. So that's 2 days a week. And then the other 3 days are what we do at home. So each of those 3 days still include the daily 3. So they still have to do their reading, journaling, and math. That gets worked in a little bit more independently. And then our more structured part of the day includes a few curriculums that we've picked out just based on a little trial and error and figuring out what works best for us.
Yeah, it's definitely a journey. I'd say if you're jumping into homeschool this year, it's okay if you need to pivot. I've done a curriculum for a month and decided it wasn't for us. I've done a curriculum for a whole year, even though it's meant to be like a multi-year thing. And I've pivoted. There's so many great options out there. Don't feel like if you start something that you have to finish. I think that a lot of us are just trained that way. They're like, oh, I started this, we got to finish. And you just keep like pushing your kids through a curriculum that is not working for them. It's creating lots of big emotions. It's hard to teach, whatever it may be okay with pivoting from curriculums. So yeah. So with that, we've been using this curriculum for a couple years now. It is called Moving Beyond the Page. So this is there's a parent guide and then the student activities, which is like worksheets. We love this because it's an interdisciplinary curriculum. It goes through a lot of great social sciences. It's just been a really great curriculum for us.
While weaving in things like English and grammar and math and
there's spelling.
Writing and journaling and spelling and all that.
We've loved this. You can actually have math in this. We chose to not add in the math, but there is still a little bit of math in there. So that's been an amazing curriculum. We're still working through 6 to 8. That's the other thing with curriculums. If you don't go through them as fast as what they're like recommended, it's okay. Like just go at your own pace. This 6 to 8 curriculum, obviously they're 10 now. So some of it's a little young and we'll supplement here and there, but it's lasted us several years and we will definitely get the next level up after this. So that's that. And then for English, we've used Logic of English in the past. That was really good for developing their I don't know if that's who that's backwards for, but anyway, it's we've used Logic of English in the past for developing like reading and grammar and phonetics for them. And then this year we're starting with Gross Out Grammar by one of our favorite social media people to follow, Jennifer, the highfalutin homeschooler. And so it's really like sentence structure, grammar. We just started it, and it's all like gross, inappropriate things. Like the whole first section's about boogers, and the girls are loving it so far.
Yeah, because when you talk about boogers, everybody laughs. So you're actually getting your grammar work in while you're laughing.
Yeah, and there's like a chapter in here called like MeTube, which our girls love YouTube. So I'm excited for that chapter. And there's stuff about like not wanting to clean your room. And there are 3 book editions of this. So we just started edition 1. And then another thing we love to do is just incorporating real life learning into our days. So we're taking a trip to Hawaii in January. So we came up with a 16-week curriculum for this fall, going through like Hawaii basics. And then we talk about volcanoes, and we talk about astronomy and whales and sharks, and a lot of history in there, like introducing World War II and how and why it became a state, and farming. So lots of different things that we are teaching them kind of in preparation for Hawaii. So they will read books, watch videos, and then have kind of a project that they do each week. So if you're doing any travel as a homeschool family, I highly recommend, even if you don't want to develop a curriculum like we kind of have around it, just really having that be an opportunity for real life learning. I will say we use these too. This is from Highlights. It's a Hawaii kind of magazine, is that what we call it. It's got different like activities, and there's a map. I didn't bring the map down, but it's just a fun way to learn about each state. I will say I bought all 50 states, and they're very, very similar as far as the activities. So I don't really recommend buying all 50 states in one bulk package. But if you're going somewhere, this is a fun way to learn all together about a state and have some fun activities.
We really believe that a big part of anyone's learning is through actual experience. So if we're going to travel, like this is a once in a lifetime trip for us to go to Hawaii. Heidi and I have never been to Hawaii. Taking our kids to Hawaii, we thought we need to make this into an experience, not only that you're going to remember for the rest of your life, but that you're really going to learn from. So when we are actually on those islands, we can say, remember, we talked about that volcano that we're looking at right now, and we learned all about it. I think that's just going to enrich the whole experience. So a lot of what we try to do is to make experience our best teacher.
Yeah. So with the kind of projects we're doing each week, they have a journal that they're putting them in, but we're leaving blank pages. So if there's something they experience or take a picture of while we're there, they can put it in their journal, and they have this whole travel journal experience of what they learned. And also along those lines, I will add one other real life learning thing is that also in our days and in our weeks, we try to schedule field trips. Some of them are scheduled through our village school, which is amazing. Other ones we'll do just as a family, going to like the zoo and fall harvest places, and, just getting out and doing things, going to museums, going to art shows. Last night we went to a soccer game. There's just so many things that kids can learn by going out and experiencing things.
I will say that you may be listening to this and thinking like, this is so much. There's no way I could ever do that. And the reality is it's really not so much. We don't spend hours and hours a day. In fact, one of our philosophies in homeschooling is to not recreate traditional school. We do not sit down from 8 to 3 every day and do school. We are intentional about what we do, but because of that, we're able to work it in smaller time frames. And the girls know, like, if they're really stay on intention,
stay on track,
stay focused, like, which not every day is. Some days it takes all day to get through our stuff, and other days are like by noon we're done. So it's not a full, like, all day long, every day type of endeavor.
Yeah. And there are also many families that just do this with one parent. And often we actually are only doing schooling with one parent. One of us will be off working while the other one is homeschooling. So we're not sitting around as a happy family all the time homeschooling. We're taking turns. So you can definitely do it with one parent. And that journey of finding what your homeschool day and week looks like also takes time.
Yeah.
I looked back at my like calendar spreadsheet that I did the first fall we were homeschooling, and I was like, whoa, I tried to pack a lot, and I was trying to replicate school, and it was really hard. There were lots of big emotions and struggles and butting heads, and because there's no reason that kids need to be learning at home for 8 hours a day, just like they'd be at school for 7 or 8 hours a day. Like a lot, you think about a lot of that time at school, they aren't learning. They're transitioning between classes. They're at recess and lunch. Not that those are long enough in a public school, but you get the point. You don't need to be schooling for 8 hours, 7 hours, whatever, even 5 hours a day.
And we just talked about this last night, was that we've never dictated our day by an alarm clock or a specific start time. We let kind of the day begin as it should, a little bit more naturally, only because through trial and error, we figured out that works better. So there's some time in the morning for naturally waking up, getting breakfast, getting kind of in the right mind frame before we kind of start.
And that's another thing that can totally change by family. Martin's kids all get up super early. So sometimes they're like starting school by 7 a.m. because everyone's up and has eaten breakfast already. So why not start school and be done by 9 a.m. and have the rest of your day to play? Because there's a lot of learning and play too. So,
and always, obviously the ages of your kids is a big factor.
So this one got a little long, but if you're listening to this and it inspires any other questions that you have as a new homeschool family or someone who's considering homeschool, we would love to hear from you. And be sure to like and follow on whatever platform you're watching, and enjoy your Labor Day weekend.
See you next time.